So for a game like Rainbow Six Siege to be going on as long as it has, it isn't uncommon that there's going to be a few operators which kind of don't really fit in the game. A lot of this might come down to your opinion. For example, I don't really think Clash fits in the game, but other people will argue that she is perfectly fine in the game, there is perfectly good strats, and there's ways of countering her. Blackbeard is in that really weird position where he'll either just be useless or kind of broken, because as long as he can always block a headshot, that doesn't really just fit in Siege, and he's just one of those operators which should never have been made. And you've got recent operators like Grim who come into the game severely underpowered, have potential, and maybe we'll see that potential in the future. But in this video, I'm going to be talking about an operator which has been in the game since the beta, yet everyone has seemingly forgotten about him, and I am of course talking about the Recruit. Now, hear me out, I'm going to explain to you as to why Recruit in his current state is actually extremely strong and should honestly be added back to the ranked playlist. Now, Recruit serves as an operator in Rainbow Six Siege to be there when you own no other operators. However, I'd argue that the need for Recruit is becoming increasingly less needed, considering that when people purchase Siege, most of the time it comes with a version which gives them, heck, not even the original operators, but some of the year 1, year 2, and year 3 operators. So I think Ubisoft need to take another look at Recruit, and I'm not saying his loadout, because his loadout is actually phenomenal, and we're going to talk about that in a second, but actually bump him up to the rank of an actual operator, let us customize him in the operator screen. This gives Ubisoft another existing operator to fully monetize so they can make millions off Recruit customizations alone, but the groundwork which Recruit has right now is actually so strong that I think he would actually be one of the coolest operators to add to ranked. Now, in Operation Void Edge, Recruit actually got a rework. He became a base 2-speed 2-armor operator across the board, and they took another look at his loadout, actually making it extremely strong. So for starters, the attacking Recruit, which I think is the strongest version of Recruit compared to his defense counterpart, has the L85A2, which is the assault rifle which Thatcher and Sledge have, and with the recent speed changes, Thatcher and Sledge are both 1 speed, meaning that Recruit is the fastest operator with the L85A2. He also has access to the MK14 EBR, which is the DMR which Dokkaebi has, which is an extremely strong DMR, and his final primary weapon is the M249 LMG, which is Capitão's LMG. And his secondary weapons are amazing as well. He has the P12 pistol, my favorite, the Super Shorty, which is actually so good for making line of sights. When you're attacking and playing vertical, you can do all the soft breaches on the floor with this shotgun, or if you want to play a bit more aggressive, you can bring the C7500 machine pistol, which is the one which Vigil, Dokkaebi, and Kali have. And now looking at what Recruit brings to the table gadget-wise, this is what makes Recruit so strong, and I'm going to explain this, and then we're going to be focusing on the attacking Recruit right now, and we will get into the defensive one later. And Recruit can bring 2 secondary gadgets, and that's what makes him so strong in my opinion. So in one slot, the attacking Recruit has access to frag grenades, smoke grenades, hard breach charges, and secondary EMPs, and then in his second slot, he can bring a breach charge, a stun grenade, or a claymore. If you're one of those players who don't play sight, who don't really play objective, and you just solo queue, yeah, this doesn't really seem cool to you. But when you're in a team, bringing 2 secondary gadgets on attack, especially how strong secondary gadgets have gotten with the introduction of hard breach charges and EMPs, and what we're going to be getting in the future, makes Recruit so valuable. So here's an example. Let's say they add Recruit back to ranked, and you want to take top floor on armory on border, and we're going to be attacking workshop and vents below us. Let's say for your primary weapon, you bring the L85A2 for fragging potential, and your secondary weapon, you bring the Super Shorty for soft breach. For your first gadget, let's bring the EMP nade, and for your second gadget, let's bring a claymore. When defenders are defending vents and workshop, they'll typically hold armory upstairs and reinforce the wall, and maybe even put a Cade, Bandit, or Mute on it. Firstly, we can use the EMP nade to get rid of that utility and allow the hard breacher to breach the wall. Then we'll take armory control, and using our claymores, we'll put them on the doorways as flank watch. Now that we have armory control, we'll switch to our Super Shorty and start making holes in the floor below. With one operator, you have now assisted the hard breacher in opening the wall, made soft breaches in the floor, and set up flank watch. As well as this, you now have an extremely strong AR, you are a 2-speed, and you still have 2 drones at your disposal. And you can do this in a different way. You can substitute the EMP for hard breach charge and get one of your teammates to EMP the wall. You could bring neither of them and get your teammates to do it and bring frag grenades and, kill people who are playing half wall, for example, or start fragging people from below. Recruit has always just been seen as a beginning operator just to, shoot people with, and not really much thought has been put into it. But the fact that secondary gadgets in Siege now are becoming strong or as strong as primary gadgets, Recruit having access to 2 of them makes him an extremely extremely viable operator. And like I said, we're probably going to be getting more secondary gadgets in the future as well, and Recruit having access to all of them makes him a force to be reckoned with. And I assume if he ever does get added to rank, they'd maybe limit it to one per person rather than the whole team being able to go Recruit. But Recruit is just one of those operators that have been sitting in the background, not being able to play it in unranked or ranked, who have just been getting buffed over the years. And the same case can be made about the defending Recruit. Now when it comes to their loadout, I don't think it is as strong as the attacker's loadout. They have the MP5K, which is the SMG that Wamai and Mute have, and they have the M870 shotgun, which is the famous Jaeger shotgun. For secondary weapons, they have the P9, but they also have the SMG11, which is actually really strong. Now the major downside with a lot of the things about Recruit is you cannot change the loadout. You're stuck with what grips on it, you're stuck with what barrels on it, and you're stuck with what sights on it. You cannot change any of that. I hope if they were to introduce Recruit to rank that you can make them customizable and choose what any scope you want, for example, but as it stands right now, Recruit is limited to what is in the preset. But of course, like his attacking counterpart, the defending Recruit can bring 2 secondary gadgets. So in his first slot, he can bring a nitro cell, an impact nade, or a proximity alarm, and in his second slot, he can bring a bulletproof camera, barbed wire, or deployable shield. And now, like I said, I don't think the defending Recruit is as strong as the attacking Recruit and doesn't bring as much to the table, but you can still do a lot here. For example, you could bring a deployable shield in one of your slots, and in the other slot, you could bring a proximity alarm. If you're holding the hallway, you could set down your deployable shield, tell your teammate to bring a Jaeger or Ramai, and you could also place a proximity alarm at the end of that hallway. Now you have that hallway on lockdown because you get indicated when they're at the end of that hallway from the proximity alarm. You have projectile protection from the Jaeger or Ramai, and you're also going to be protected behind that shield. Or you could substitute the proximity alarm out for a nitro cell and just watch for the shield when you see someone coming down that hallway and nitro cell them. Considering how many jobs defenders have to do to hold a site, I wouldn't really say in his current state that the defending Recruit is that viable, but I would absolutely argue that the attacking version of Recruit is extremely powerful, has a solid loadout, has solid access to gadgets, and would make a strong addition to the rank pool and just throw a wrench in it. No other operator has access to 2 secondary gadgets. And considering now that we have secondary gadgets which are like hard breach charges or EMPs, Recruit could literally become your primary hard breacher or your primary, EMP player. Why bring a Thatcher when you can play a Recruit who is faster, has the same primary weapon and a better secondary, can bring an EMP as well, but on top of this can also bring something else like a stun grenade or a claymore or a breach in charge. For whatever reason they removed Recruit from ranked, I think he should make his grand debut back into it. I'd love to see it at some point in the future, and I hope you guys all agree with me or at least understood my point. So guys, be sure to let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Do you understand what I mean? Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Do you think Recruit should be added back to rank? And do you think he's as strong as I am making him out to be? I'm really interested to hear all your thoughts, so be sure to drop a comment and let me know your thoughts. Drop a like on this video if you did enjoy, dislike it if you did not. Subscribe if you are new, guys. Have an incredible holiday. I hope you guys all stay safe and do well. I love you all. Peace.